at night. Red and blue shout and nobody's right. Smoke in the streets, truth under attack. Everybody's loud, nobody's got facts. Feeds keep scrolling, nerves stay tight. Matchsticks flicked in the dead of night. They sell fear, cheap package the lies, while the clock keeps ticking, empires on fire. Can't sit quiet while the world's on edge. Lines in the sand, standing on the ledge. No script, no leash, no polished choir. Just a voice in the dark and a spark to the wire. This is and I'll bring the fire. Gonna light it higher. No filter, no fear, I say it raw. Strike the match, let it burn through the fog. This is and I'll bring the fire. And I'll bring the fire. Everybody's selling truth like a brand, buying opinions they don't understand. Talking in circles, screaming online. Keyboard courage, borrowed spines. Yeah, power plays dressed up as peace. Same old wolves with different teeth. But silence is loud when the house is burning. And the fuse is short, yeah, it's still learning. I don't dance for the left or the right. I stand in the heat, I stand in the fight. No strings, no chains, no manufactured choir. Just gasoline thoughts and an open lighter. This is and I'll bring the fire. Gonna light it higher. No filter, no fear, I say it raw. Strike the match, let it burn through the fog. This is and I'll bring the fire. And I'll bring the fire. The world's on tilt, pressure climbing. Truth don't whisper, it's perfect timing. You can't cancel the smoke, you can't stop flame. Say my name when it hits, say my name. Why? Say my name. Say my name. Fire don't ask permission. Fire don't need a side. Fire just shows up honest and exposes the lie. This is and I'll bring the fire. Truth is harder. Burn it down till what's real survives. No smoke, no mirrors, just heat and lies. And I'll bring the fire. And I'll bring the fire. American fire. Strike it. Let it speak.
Hello, folks, and welcome to the final day of American Fire on NPR here. We're just going to have a lovely conversation today about what the President Donald Trump is accomplishing in our nation, and, we're all going to do so at our room level voices, inside voices today. And I just hope you enjoy this presentation by whoever's playing classical music on your radio today. What's going on, guys? Again, if you are new, if you haven't been watching, I am at the lake, and so I do have my travel mic, which is not the best, and it is what it is. So hope you guys still stick with me through this show. I'm doing my best to keep the levels normal, but we have a lot to talk about. In fact, Trump just did some massive stuff involving immigration. We have this whole affordability psyop that's going on right now to attack the Trump administration and tie him in with the neocon establishment. So we're going to break that down. We have some huge news coming out of Iran based upon their economy on the verge of collapse. So we got all that, and of course some updates on the midterms, where we're headed. So folks, lots to get to today. So get your golf claps ready. It is it's keeping the voice down. Last day like this on Monday. We will be back regular, and I'll get back to my regular animated fun self. But for now, I'm just going to do what I can to not blow up the microphone. All right. So, anyways, hope you guys are doing well. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe. Thank you all for spending your time with me. And let's get into it, shall we? I want to do some shout outs. Let's call out some people here on Rumble. Join us on the rooms. We got AZ Tropic, SoCal, Frankie Fran, Chrissy Cats, Pixel Snap, and Nels holding it down on Rumble. And then here on the tubes, I do see you guys, Kick and X. I can't see your comments, unfortunately, but I see you guys joining me, and thank you for watching. But as far as comments, I'm not going to see them. So let's call out the YouTubers here. YouTubes. Jay Tyrus, Numero Uno, Janice Bain, Gray Fox, Sebastian Chose. Saw a Skinner concert. Nice. That's not giving good news. Armand Oliphant, Golden Code, Marco Sanchez, Rafe, I Speak For You, What's Going On, Klasda, Jim Atkin, Vince Feliz, Huckleberry Squid, Saved by Grace, Nick Majors, Take a Dump on Lips. I like that one. K. Shuey, Candid K, Donna M, Dabon, Todd Scott, Volkovich, The Wong, What to Do, Edwin Fried, Sia Will, Texas, Doc No, Monica Poole, Senile Tyrant, Mark Ghoul, Jimmy Postel, Don't Stop, Ramona, and so many more. Nick Majors, Motley Cruel, Carnivore. What's going on, guys? All right, I can't shout out all you. Just too many in the chat, but I appreciate it. And you get in early, you get the shout outs. Anyways, as always, guys, community is a big part of this show. Please feel free to jump in. Questions, comments, conversation, all of it. The best community on YouTube. If you want to get my attention, if you got some for me, please tag me. Do your best to tag me so I can see it in the chat, because I do want to be a part of joining in the conversation with you guys when I can, especially in between segments. So, one more day of Lake Effect, Mike. That's right. Welcome to Joy Painting with these. How funny would that be if I had like a painting right here and it was like I was working on like a Trump painting? That would be hilarious. You know, he's a happy Trump. He's a happy Trump. And see, right here, let's just paint over here as he's kicking out some illegals. Yeah, just feel happy as the illegals go out. You know, that's a little joy. And we'll put a little smiley face on them right there. Yep. How's the fishing? My kids caught a ton of fish. They found a spot where there's a bunch of little fish that just would not stop buying it up, so or eating it up, and they were going nuts. But none of them were keepers. But still super fun though, and it was like their first time ever really catching anything, so they were going nuts. You're watching it work, so you don't have to engage with smooth brain zombies. Says Tracy Angel. I feel like I said defecate. Oh my God, that's not what Jesus said. All right. Yeah, market's not crashing right now, but my live the other night, for those bringing it up, with BAM was about what's possible, and you know what BAM sees is basically what the globalists are planning by their money movement, what they're doing with stuff. And so just because BAM's model says things could crash doesn't mean they will. It just tells you that's what they are planning for. And so we all just need to be on edge for that. Okay, so they're preparing for it, and we'll see if they pull it off. Although Trump is definitely making moves to get around it. So okay, well guys, let's get into it, shall we? We have a lot to get into today. I'm really excited about this. It's going to be a fun show. Lots of information in today's show because there's a lot going on. So again, please hit the like, hit the subscribe as we're getting started here. If you if you want to get my attention, please tag. But also, if you want to support the channel, this is a viewer, listener supported channel. Obviously, I'm not spouting out sponsors to you guys. I'm not Tucker Carlson one moment saying Usuri is evil, and then the next moment, the very next moment, talking about a lending program. I'm not doing that. I'm listener and viewer supported. So super chats are welcome. Those are guaranteed to be read. And always, you guys can join the membership. Try it out for a month for free in the description. If you like it, you can stay after that and be a monthly supporter. Violet says, so we're going to paint a happy little wall, and you can make your wall however you like. You can use steel, you can use brick, maybe some barbed wire. There are no bad walls. That's the perfect Bob Ross. Build a beautiful wall. That's hilarious. Well done. Tim says, yesterday I said you need to do it better on your microphone because what you have to say is too important. Boy, did the peanut gallery take offense. You have a great audience looking out for you. I do, Tim. These are amazing people. And Tim, I did not take offense at your comments, but because you're right. You're right. I want to do better. So next time I travel, I will go through the extra pain of dismantling my mic setup at home and bringing it with me, or investing in a better mic if I have the extra funds. So I will do that because you're right. I had no idea how bad the microphone was going to be. I'd just be honest with you guys. So I did what I could. But yeah, Tim, again, there's the greatest community online. These are great people. I've been doing this show now for 3.5 years. I have a very loyal group, and I am blessed, continually blessed by this amazing group. So Don Julio, happy birthday over there on Rumble. One day late, but happy birthday. But yeah, Tim, thank you, and I'm glad you were patient with me. Lerp to come with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Lerp. Says, I've actually been a viewer for a while now. Yesterday was first time to catch you live. Funny things, my name's Kevin. There seems to be a lot of us, and I'm also a CDL trucker. Awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you've been watching, and I hope you do tune in live more often. But yeah, jump in the chat anytime. We'll get to know each other. That'd be great. I have a lot of people. I just passed 40,000 subscribers, which is blowing my mind. It's humbling. It's amazing. But I do my best to anybody who's regularly being a part of this community through chatting a lot, through being a member. I do my best to get in the community. I'm a busy guy. I got a wife and 6 kids. I have a life, and they are my world. But that being said, community is majorly important to me. And so I do my best to become a part of that community, get to know people. Obviously, I'm never probably going to give you guys what you want fully, as far as like availability, because that's just not going to be possible for me as online. I'm an online person in this community, but I do my best to get to know you guys and kind of get to know your personalities, stuff like that. So join in and we'll be a part of it. So Lerpticon, thank you so much. Thank you, Mad Clouds. Appreciate it. Mad Clouds, get a USB mic, cheap tabletop mic. I know you told me this yesterday. We'll work on it. The sound will be back to normal on Monday. Okay. So, let's see here. Based, I know, man. Hey, kids are the future. Fuzzy Eight's better than Noise. Well, thank you guys. You guys are the best. Listen, I still having a bunch of people show up for these lives, even with the bad sound. So that just tells me how amazing you guys are and how forgiving you are. Bannon endorsed Fishback. I mean, that tells you all you need to know, right? So in the Florida race, I know, I'm sorry I haven't got started yet, guys. Okay, sorry. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. Okay, but I'm seeing some good chats. I wanna talk to you. Fishback is a total fraud. Okay, he is that America First kind of grouper with Tucker and all them. He keeps saying just more and more ridiculous stuff. I want to trust Fishback at all. Byron Donalds is a total, like, he's kind of a fraud too. He's an establishment type Republican posing as MAGA. He talks a good game. He's got some very stuff in his past that is just not cool. Just like anger issues, maybe some fraud, just like stuff I don't trust. Trump has gone behind Byron because he knows he can win, and he probably will win because he's a good speaker. And Trump does this all the time. It's about getting the small wins where you can, and that's why I believe Byron's gone. He's endorsed Byron, but sometimes Trump endorses to also expose people, so that might be part of it too. There's a third guy running, and Florida's not my state, so I forgot what his name is. The third guy running is the true MAGA guy, and I just don't think he has a chance to win, which is why Trump didn't endorse him. He doesn't have the name recognition. He doesn't have the machine behind him. So And that's what I think. And I think Florida without DeSantis is definitely going to go down a notch. But with Republicans in power in the legislature, with the voters, I don't think Byron Donalds going to be able to mess up too much. And it's still better than a Democrat. So that's where I'm at watching Florida from afar. Fishback is terrible. Fishback is terrible. And Steve Bannon endorsing him tells you kind of all you need to know, right? But we all know Bannon's a fraud. We all know Bannon's a fraud. So, Johan, you're welcome, man. So glad you can watch it. J-Bone, thank you so much. Why I cry about the sound? I could have just said no. Yeah, so there you go. When is Bam calling for a crash? He just says the setup is now, and it could really accelerate going into the fall, especially August, starting in August and September. So he just says it looks really, really bad. Vince, go watch the live from Sunday night. So go watch the live from Sunday night, and you'll get an idea of what Bam said. It's worth watching. You know Bam. You like Bam. So okay, you guys ready? We gotta get into this. Have I seen the Tucker impersonation by the guy? Yeah, dude. Ami, he's great. He's so good. All right. Well, folks, Trump does it again. He does it again. Getting started. We're going to go into this. I have a lot to talk about on the immigration deportation side. So this segment's going to be heavy on that because there's so many lies being told. But having said that, again, if you're new, tag me if you got questions or comments. I'll hit them up at the end. Super chats are always read, and then of course trolls will be booted. Okay, so hopefully we see some trolls because it's always fun to block people. Mods are watching. All right, let's get into it, shall we? So yesterday Trump did it again. It's so impressive to me what this guy does. He doesn't take no for an answer. He never stops fighting. After the Supreme Court gave its horrific ruling on birthright citizenship, the Trump team said, we are on it. We're going to look into how we can fight this. They've called on the Senate to do stuff, which isn't going to go anywhere, at least not until after the midterms. But, excuse me, that slipped out. But the thing is that the Trump team came up with a perfect plan. They found a legal way to curb birthright citizenship, and they announced it last night with these executive actions. And here is President Trump last night with Stephen Miller, Lutnick, and others with a new executive order on how to fight birthright citizenship.
We had a very unfortunate decision in the Supreme Court concerning birthright. It was close, but a very, very unfortunate decision. So we're making adjustments because it's very unfair. This was done for a different reason. This was done right after the Civil War. This was for the babies of slaves. And what's happening now, people are building businesses around it. From wealthy people are building businesses around birthright citizenship. That's not the way it's supposed to work. It's a disgrace. They're buying their way in, and we're not going to let it happen. We had a very unfortunate decision in the Supreme Court.
All right, so Trump sets it up there, and then here's some more details on what they were signing.
Yes, so today the president signed these two executive orders here relating to birthright citizenship and birth tourism. As the president mentioned, the 14th Amendment was passed exclusively in the aftermath of the Civil War so to ensure that the children of slaves would be citizens. It had no other meaning and purpose outside of that. And that's been clear, obviously, since the day that it was passed. You can go back and you can read the congressional debates. This is not something that's even seriously contested by anybody. The president is using his authority as commander-in-chief to sign first an executive order using the new ruling the Supreme Court issued to expand the definitions of people who are ineligible for birthright citizenship. That includes, for example, alien enemies of the United States, members of foreign terrorist organizations, and large categories of people who lobby and act on behalf of foreign governments. And so with taking this action, it ensures that large numbers of people who wrongly would be getting birthright citizenship will no longer be eligible for those benefits. The second action that he's taking, which is especially historic, is for the first time ever in American history to ban birth tourism. So I want you to really let that sink in. This has been something that people have talked about not only for years, but for decades. The idea that people come here pretending to be a tourist, pretending to be a visitor, saying they want to go to Disneyland, they want to go visit a monument or go to a national park, but the real reason they're here is to have a child, to make that child an automatic citizen, leave our country, and then have a U.S. citizen child. It gives them access under this broken system to welfare benefits, ultimately to the voting booth, and all the other rights and privileges that belong solely to Americans. So that practice of birth tourism is, as of the signing of this order, hereby banned. And what that means is that no one in the world is any more allowed to obtain a visa for this fraudulent purpose. It is probably, and President Trump has done many historic things on immigration, too many to list now, sealed the southern border shut, record deportations, record integrity, stopping foreign terrorist entry, record reduction in drug seizures, dismantling criminal cartels, dismantling the gangs, right? Everything he's done that has been so unprecedented. I would put this in the top 3 in terms of importance because it ends what has been one of the gravest and most egregious abuses of the American system, and it keeps American citizenship sacred.
I mean, this is a big deal. And I totally believe that the Trump administration is going to be able to enforce this in brilliant ways. I mean, this is kind of the reason for the advances in tech, especially monitoring those trying to come in. So the Trump administration, again, cracking down on immigration. This is against all the lies that have been spilt over and over and over again that Trump ultimately doesn't care about this. He's not fulfilling his promises on this. This is massive. He continually puts forward executive actions that actually matter. And now who's going to fight this? I'm sure some judge is going to try to strike it down, but again, it forces it to go back up to the Supreme Court eventually because they found legal ways to get this through. This is why it took a month and a half, by the way. This is why Trump didn't strike down this executive order the day after the Supreme Court ruled. They went through the legal channels and made sure there was exactly a way to get this through. And here's one more on this.
The law is absolutely clear. What we're talking about, as Stephen said, with respect to birth tourism, something that used to happen incidentally, where somebody who happened to be on vacation here went into labor early and had a baby. This was sort of a relatively small problem. What we've seen in recent years, though, is organized rings, at times criminal rings, setting up a system whereby tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people can come to this country in an organized fashion and give birth here purely for the sake of obtaining birthright citizenship. This order takes a number of different actions intended to combat those sorts of organized practices. We look very heavily at denying visas to people that we have reason to believe are coming here for that purpose. Visas both for putative parents, but also for the people organizing these rings. There's also obviously a law enforcement component. We'll have a full fact sheet released on this soon, but what we're doing is taking legally validated means that are clearly within our disposal and targeting them square on to this birth tourism industry. There's absolutely nothing in here that runs afoul of any of the Supreme Court's opinions on the subject. This is, frankly, it's action that's overdue, and I'm thankful that President Trump is finally taking decisive action to combat this issue of birth tourism now that it's been queued up in the way that it has as a result of the Supreme Court's opinion.
Okay, so what did they just do? All right, so SCOTUS blocked Trump's broad birthright citizenship move, and so he compressed the target. This is the opening the court left, okay? The new orders hit 2 lanes. Children tied to alien enemies, foreign terrorist organizations, foreign government actors, and then birth tourism itself by empowering state and DHS to stop the entry pipeline before the child is born here. This is a real signal. Trumpers Barber defined the boundary. Trump immediately adjusted to it. Narrower target, stronger legal footing. Now the next constitutional fight is already loaded. Absolutely right. This is exactly what Trump did with the with tariffs. Okay, so he saw the tariff thing. He was like, this is unfortunate. They blocked my emergency powers on tariffs. I can get the tariffs like that. So what do? I'm now going to the next level. All right, we will do this through the other avenues. And now it's been 6 months, and we're starting to see those tariffs go into effect now. They were slower, they had to be done a certain way, but they're happening. Trump just did the same thing here. Instead of crying about it, moving on, Trump, maintaining his promise to the people, continues to be super strict on immigration. This is great, but the one downside to this is that we have to have presidents who will continue enforcing this as long as it's an executive order. But if Trump gets this challenged and you go through the court process and you send it back up to the Supreme Court in a new way, this is how the Supreme Court overturns precedent. This is how we got Roe v. Wade overturned. It kept challenging it in new ways. And you do that with birthright citizenship, you eventually get it challenge. You go through it over and over again, find new ways to challenge it. This is what the Trump administration is doing, and it's brilliant. As long as he's here, we're going to see this enforced. Hopefully, in his term, or we get Vance or Rubio in the next term, they're still enacting this emergency action, but we eventually get the Supreme Court case on it, and we fight. Maybe by that point with a new justice on the court, as I believe in the next year or two, John Roberts will be stepping down. That's the rumor, and I tend to believe it, knowing how much MAGA and the Trump administration can't stand Roberts. So, Kremi writes, President Trump just banned birth tourism. This is likely going to result in another crackdown on H-1Bs. So here's another side angle of this, okay? A side effect of it is that H-1Bs will continue to go down. What's the big cry out from so many people disappointed about immigration and how it's going? What do people keep saying? Oh my God, the H-1Bs, they haven't stopped the H-1Bs. Despite the fact H-1Bs are like lower now than they've been in forever, okay, since before they really took off. Trump's been cracking down on that like crazy. Well, here's another avenue to lower that as well. All right. All this is great stuff. All this is great stuff. So since that's a non-immigrant visa that people often use as if the intent is to immigrate, may even result in pregnant women being turned away from entry. How huge is that? You cannot come in until after you've had your baby. I mean, this is the way we fight. We don't just cry. We don't walk away. We don't just lick our wounds. We come back and fight. And this is what Trump keeps doing. Here's in this order. Birth tourism is defined as entry of any foreign national in the United States via non-immigrant visa for the purpose of giving birth, or any effort by a foreign national to facilitate the entry of a foreign national into the U.S. via non-immigrant visa for purpose of giving birth. Scope and implementation. Secretary of State and Secretary of Homeland Security shall take actions, rules, blah, 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 appropriate action, prevent entry in the U.S. or granting a visa or other travel authorization to any alien entering. Now, you guys understand, like, they can scour social media, they can listen to these people's phones, they can find out all the stuff on them before they enter. In fact, the State Department just mentioned yesterday they are now going to be scouring social media before allowing visas. This is huge, and this is one of the reasons. I have no doubt this is one of the reasons that was announced. Now, with all the attacking on Trump about immigration, well, I don't know why that came in weird like that. Just a second. With all this going on, it's important to realize, like, the psyop is that Trump's not doing anything, that the border's gone down, that Mullen is terrible. We want Kristi Noem back. Meanwhile, deportations are at their all-time high. ICE, all-time record, arrested 51,000 illegal aliens in July. More than 1,600 per day. Numbers keep going up, guys. Highest single months ever recorded. Here's a little breakdown on it.
This is telling Fox News ICE made roughly 51,000 immigration arrests in July. So that's more than 1,600 per day. It marks the highest single month of arrests the agency has ever recorded. ICE has been steadily ramping up arrests during President Trump's second term. The White House has reportedly pushed immigration officials to aim for 2,000 arrests a day.
So meanwhile, ICE scoring a major legal win yesterday. Federal judge halting a New York state law that bans agents from wearing face masks. This after the Trump team sued to block the ban arguing it's an illegal push to regulate the federal government. Brian Yanis on that story. The latest in New York City. Brian, good morning.
Bill, good morning. And it's not just masks. A federal judge has also temporarily blocked New York's law requiring.
So while the arrests are ramping up, guess what else is happening? The legal attacks are starting to go away. The opportunities for ICE to perform better, have easier access to make all this happen, it keeps increasing as well. There's more agents being trained by the day. The money that was finally allotted to them in May is now making its way through the agency. They're getting their tools. Deportations are only going to keep going up, folks, as they get better at it and more staffed. See, the main reason deportations are not where people want them to be yet is because of resources, not because of will. And that's an important distinction. But at the same time, we need to celebrate the records being set and put to death this massive psyop that's trying to tell everybody that Trump's breaking his biggest promise, which is deporting. I see so many people blackpilling over this. It's insane to me. It's absolutely insane to me because we are on huge records. It's not only the fact that the deportations are going up, the arrests are going up. It's also what nobody talks about is the self-deportations keep going up. All told, we're close to 5 million already being gone. When you take everything into account, that's massive. Almost 5 million so far since January of 2025. That's in 18 months. And that's with 2 government shutdowns, okay? That's with judges blocking them at every opportunity. That's with the media playing this whole game with the protesters in Minnesota and Trump having to put new leadership in. It's been non-stop attacks to slow this down, and yet records are being set. And that, friends, that needs to be celebrated. This is the kind of stuff Trump's up against. Look at this. These are the missing children. He posted this the other day, and we're not being helped at all by sanctuary cities. They're going out of their way to make sure children remain missing. So much for the Epstein class. Trump is trying to get these kids back. We have missing migrant children located. February, you have, what is that? Sorry, guys, I'm looking at this, making sure I'm watching this, looking at this correctly. Yeah. So the February to, and then here's the remaining. Okay, February and July, and then here's what's remaining. Why is this not going down faster? Why is this not going up faster? Because the sanctuary cities, Democrats are protecting the immigrants, protecting the people who have trafficked these children. That's the true Epstein class. That's the true sickos in our country. It's these politicians, these Democrats who are keeping the kids blocked off from being rescued. It's pathetic. It's disgusting. But this is the kind of thing we're up against. This is why deportation numbers are lower than we want them to be. One of the many reasons. Now, Indian student visas down 62%. Chinese student visas down 34%. This is the other thing. Legal immigration has been significantly lowered under Trump. Significantly. So again, honestly, folks, who on earth actually believes there's any other leader who we could have voted for who could have done this faster with all the nonstop attempts to block it by the other side? You think somebody else would be stronger than Trump on this? You think another president would be able to come in and do this better? Because here's the thing. Maybe somebody would come in and be more intense if we had some miracle, you could get a hardcore person in, but nobody else would be able to navigate the legal system in the same way to keep it going. You get somebody who does it even crazier, who tries to go against the law, then you have more pushback and it slows down even more. The thing is, what we're watching is Trump's navigating the system and still pulling off this major slowdown on legal immigration and the reversing of illegal immigration. No one else could be able to do this. We would not, there's literally no one who would do a better job. I'm sorry, it's just true. Like, according to CIS, student visas issued in 25 declined by 62% compared to 24. And it's only going to keep going down. only going to keep going down. Now, here's the other massive thing. Look at the impact it's already having on the economy. Okay? Since Trump took office, 1.3 foreign-born workers have lost a job. So that's 1.5, round up, 1.5 million people in the workforce who were immigrants now gone. That's massive. Why do you think the job numbers have gone down a little bit? It's because they are getting kicked out. That's a lot of people, a lot of workers gone. Meanwhile, replaced by 1.7 native-born Americans. Look at this effect right here. Here is the Trump effect. Foreign-born, native-born going up. Okay, it's increasing. Under Biden, this was say stagnant, and they shot up after COVID. Look at the foreign-born workers shooting up under Biden. It should make you sick. Trump came in at the peak. I don't know what this little blip is. Maybe it's the World Cup. You know, maybe we brought in some for the World Cup, but it's already crashing back down. But regardless, that is a crazy, crazy level that has gone up under Biden. They were trying to weed us out, trying to get rid of us. Trump, another avenue. He's fighting this. Lowest refugee levels in history. 99.9% of refugees lived in by Trump have been white South Americans. 99.9%. And 100,000 third world refugees have been blocked. This is massive. This is massive. We've cut it all off. All the shams, all the things they're pushing through, all cut off. All the scams just completely shifted. Here's the State Department. Immigrating to the U.S. is a privilege, not a right. If you're seeking to obtain that privilege, you must be capable of demonstrating you'll be a benefit rather than a burden. Trump administration are requiring prospective immigrants to post six-figure bond. That's a big deal. I've heard that for some of them, they're going to have to post a bond of up to $250,000 to become a citizen. Make them show that they're going to be a benefit. Make them show that they're not going to be on the dole, jumping on our welfare system. Who is mad about this? Who's upset about this? I don't understand. Like, whenever I hear somebody mad at the Trump administration for immigration stuff, I'm just like, are you stupid? Or are you just accepting the lies? Are you even trying to look at what's happening? This is incredible stuff. They're hitting it from every angle. I do not know what's up with X today. Sorry, guys. But here's another avenue we're setting records in. Justice Department moves to revoke U.S. citizenship from 10 naturalized criminals, including molesters, scammers, drug traffickers. Trump administration continues the largest denaturalization effort ever. That means you're an immigrant, you came over here, you became a naturalized citizen, we're going to take it all away from you. Obviously, it's not that many yet. I mean, there's only 10 here, but denaturalization is extremely rare, extremely rare. It's very hard to lose your citizenship in the U.S. The Trump administration is ramping it up. These 10 criminals lied their way into U.S. citizenship, said Todd Blanche. Oh, by the way, Todd Blanche being voted on right now. So apparently Bill Cassidy came out and said he'll pass the vote. So it's expected Todd Blanche is going to get in. But this is one of the reasons they hate him, right? Each of these individuals lack the good moral character required by law. Under President Trump's leadership, DOJ will continue to aggressively pursue denaturalization, restore integrity to the naturalization process. These are generational changes. Generational changes, because the people are never going to want to go back after this. Never, ever, ever. Here's It's Only the Beginning. Carolyn Levitt sharing the story on Todd Blanche. Now, here's how some of the ways it's starting to impact the economy. Here's Bassett talking about where the illegals are leaving and what's happening to rents.
Communities, when you get, and you know, we don't know what it was it 10, was it 15, was it 25 million illegals? There's no new housing stock, so you know, you saw rents go through the roof, and now the people don't want to admit it, but there are academic studies that show where ICE goes, rents go down.
That's exactly right.
Rents go down.
So
community.
Right now, housing is starting to make a correction, and it's because of the illegals leaving. You know, right now, foreclosures are at the same rate as the 2008 financial crisis, that's because of the illegals leaving. Now, all these houses, most of them are owned by the government. They were FHA loans, or the banks that worked with the government. Biden was handing them out like candy. No money down, here you go. And if you couldn't make your payments, they just let it happen. They just left it alone. Now these houses are going to start hitting the market at much cheaper rates. In the next couple of years, I expect a ton of foreclosed homes from illegals to hit the market, making it so people can buy starter homes again. Because foreclosed homes come in cheaper. In fact, we're going to start seeing massive economic benefits from all this immigration. So I had Grok go through everything that Trump's been doing. All right. So Border Patrol apprehensions, lowest in 50 plus years. Drop versus Biden monthly averages, 90 to 96%. Daily averages, very low. So we know all this, right? We've been covering this. The arrests, the removals, we just talked about a lot of this. But let's look at this. Here's some of the positive aspects of what's coming. Restored operational border control, reduced strain on schools, hospitals, housing, and local budgets. We still have not seen the full benefits of all of this. Okay, you understand? It's going to take time. Right now, we're in the process of removal. We're in the process, and then there's going to be an adjustment period. I don't know how long it'll take, 6 months, a year, 2 years, but after the adjustment period of all these people being gone, some of it's immediate, okay, like getting into an emergency room quicker, but after the adjustment period, there's going to be a massive benefit to all these people being gone. Fewer public safety risks, lower fentanyl and cartel trafficking pressure, reassertion of sovereign-controlled entry, relief for communities absorbed sudden populations, wage support for native and legal workers in low-skill sectors, lower fiscal costs, emergency healthcare, justice, welfare, prior net annual estimates, tens of billions, shift potential toward higher skill, higher fiscal contribution to immigration, which we've already seen. Labor market tightness can raise participation earnings, eased infrastructure and housing demand, better long-term sustainability, and then the future cleanup potential. At the sustained rates right now, unauthorized population could fall by several million more over this next 6 to 10 years if Republicans stay in control. We could, by the end of Trump's administration, we could see up to 20 million gone. In fact, the rate we're at right now, there will be 16 to 20 million gone by the end of Trump's term at our current rate, especially if it keeps ramping up as it has been. You get Vance, Rubio in, DeSantis, they continue this over there for 8 years. We get to the point where by the end of it, depending on how many are here, some people say 100 million, which I think is crazy, but I think 40 to 60 million is probably accurate. You get 8 more years of this, even if it slows down a little bit because they get harder to find, there's less here, you get nearly all of them gone in 12 years. That would be a miracle, folks. It'd be a miracle, but it could happen. Even if Trump gets rid of 16 to 20 million, and the next guy gets rid of just another 15 million, that's 35 million gone. Our whole country has changed. Our whole country has changed. So legal immigration's held, compounding results, multi-year fiscal savings, tighter labor markets, reduced cartel revenues, demographic trajectory aligned with national capacity and cohesion, less pressure on infrastructure, higher public trust, full scale depends on sustained funding, etc., etc. But the benefits are massive. And here's Kevin Hassett talking about some of the benefits we might already be seeing economically. Look at this.
No, I don't think that's what we're seeing at all. And one of the things we have to remember is that in the Biden years, you would expect to see numbers north of 100 because there are all these illegals coming in, really a stampede of them coming in and taking jobs. And what's happened is because we have a tight border and because we've been deporting folks who aren't citizens, then that puts downward pressure on what the sort of break-even job number is. That is the job number you need to have the unemployment rate not go up. And so about 3 or 4 years ago, the break-even number was way north of 100. Now our estimate is it's 40 or 50. So if you get a 40 or 50,000 job number, that means that unemployment rate is not going to go up. And so what I'm doing mostly, just to help myself understand the economy, is I'm looking almost only at the unemployment rate right now, and that went down this month.
Okay. No. It did. Because you're getting rid of the foreign workers, and that people are not taking that into account as it's happening, but it's already having a result. Wages are starting to go up. This is starting to work along with all of Trump's other policies. And you put all this together, folks, and we're getting our country back. Might not be at the rate you wanted it to, but I'm telling you right now, I don't think anybody could do it faster than what Trump's doing. It's a miracle we've gotten this far, and from here forward, it'll only get better as we have more and more open to us. We've won the legal challenges. They have the funding. It'll only get better from here. So anybody who's dooming on the border at this point, I'm sorry to say it, but here you go, guys. You're being retarded. And that's all I got to say on that for now. Guys, hit that like and subscribe. We got a lot more to get into today. So thank you all for watching. Here's a little actually on the home prices, how it's declining, but we'll talk about that in a second here. Let me leave... I'll leave Hassett up for now. All right. Anyways, let me get into the chat, catch up with you guys, and we'll get moving after that. But questions, comments, please tag me so I can see them. Again, super chats are guaranteed to be read. Doc No with a $2 super chat says small imperfect victories beat perfect failures. 100%, man. Absolutely. Crypto Hitless with $10 super chat says idea. Trump offers reparations package, free college, something similar in exchange for SAVE Act closing birth citizenship loophole, force Democrats to vote against reparations, political checkmate. The problem is if they vote for it, what kind of reparations do we want, or would we be okay with? That's the problem. So that's why I just don't see that happening. People would go nuts on Trump if there was any kind of reparations allowed. But I see your point, and I do agree that the Democrats would be in trouble. K2 for you, $10 super chat says, don't forget Schumer's shutdown put ICE in airports. They're now checking boarding lists for illegals. Arrests are safe in airports. Illegals getting squeezed on all sides. 100%, man. It's happening in so many ways. And that's very important to understand. It's very important because, again, if you're dooming, you're just not taking everything into consideration. And I see a lot of people here. Well, not a lot, but I saw a couple in the chat mad about like we're not doing enough, or Trump's not doing much. I see people dooming on MAGA's not winning. Dude, that's the stupidest thing I could possibly hear from anybody. Anybody who says MAGA's not winning is either lying on purpose because they're pushing some kind of Tucker Carlson bullshit, or they are completely ignorant to what's actually happening and how this all works. And that's it. I mean, if you don't think Trump's winning and MAGA's winning, you just have zero idea what you're talking about, or you're purposely lying. Sigulyak says, I didn't used to be MAGA, but then Trans-Tifa terrorist scum tried to force their way into my vehicle to hurt my family and I because the American flag's bolted to my truck. That's terrible. But that's a quick way to wake up, isn't it? Erica says, 100 billion is not crazy. They've been doing this a long time, just not just well, they have been, but it was much slower before Obama. Here's why I say the 100 million number is crazy. Okay, I don't think people understand how disruptive, how much more disruptive 100 million would be. 100 million people is 1 out of every 3 Americans, roughly, maybe 1 out of every 4. Okay, you do not understand just how much worse it would be if it was actually that many. That's my response to that. And I've lived in 3 different states, 2 of them border states, California and Texas, and then North Carolina, which is a southern state, which is where I live now. And I'll tell you that even in Texas and North Carolina, I lived near San Antonio, I lived in Austin, it was not even 1 out of 3 there. Now you could say the south area of Texas might be 80% illegal, fine. The populations are still too low for it to be that many. I'm just saying, guys, and I know that's all anecdotal. I also know we don't have the actual numbers. Nobody knows for sure. But from my own experience, from how I study things, the 100 million number is so massive. I just think personally things would be so much worse than they are, which they're already bad. They'd be so much even worse if it was that many. All right. And again, all the people like upset about the deportations aren't high enough. You guys are completely not thinking about how self-deportations are like 3 times more than the regular deportations, if not more than that, because it's becoming tougher and tougher to be here as their benefits are drying up. Trump's debanking them, all kinds of options. Okay. Laura Testicles, dude, honestly, you need to watch more of my show. You just have no idea what you're talking about. But it's okay. Go to, doom on your crazy eschatology beliefs and sad stuff. But we're here for winners. So you're on the wrong channel if you're going to be dooming. All right. You're at the wrong channel for dooming. You just don't know what you're talking about. You're looking at everything from a surface level and freaking out about it. Take a Dump says, great to hear construction wages already climbing, being the first affected by large investment projects. I see the Terrafab rendering, bringing back advanced industry. I did. Crazy stuff. And it's wages are already going up. Let's see here. I think the real number is somewhere between 40 and 60 million. That's what I believe. And I think that makes the most sense. But again, I could be wrong. It could be 100 million. I would just be absolutely shocked. It could be 25 million. I'd be shocked by that too. So, dude, Lord Testicles, what are you even saying? Why are you even here? I'm just gonna send you away so you go do something else. Because you're not here to learn. You're not here to be a part of a conversation. You're here to doom. And doomers go bye-bye. Bye-bye, doomer. We're not here for that. You're not offering answers. You're not offering solutions. You just want to fill my chat up with fear. And so you're gone. Come back someday when you've grown up a little bit and you actually can start looking for opportunity on how to make things better, like a true Christian would. Even 30 million is a lot, yeah. Irrationally says, it's not just naysayers who don't realize MAGA's winning, it's a half of all are objectively stupid. Not just stupid, but they believe psyops. Okay? They believe psyops. Am I going to talk about yen carry trade? Not right now. I did a whole show on it Sunday night. Okay? I can increase my audio a little bit. I was keeping it low on purpose so it wasn't blowing out. Sorry, guys. My sound will be fixed Monday. Okay? I'm just on a bad mic right now. I'm on a bad mic right now. Let's see. If we could deport the DSA affiliate Americans, I would not be surprised if Trump's looking at denaturalizing some of them because of that. So, let's see here. Yeah, they cut off the credit cards, all that. Yeah. So, yeah, intellectually lazy. Most Americans most Americans are intellectually lazy. And you know why? Because most Americans went through the education system, which taught them not to critical think, not to go searching for truth. It taught them to accept what you're told by the experts. That's what the education system did on purpose, to make us all intellectually lazy or intellectually broken and unable to find our information. That's most Americans, and that's why most Americans get stuck. Okay? That's why most Americans get stuck. And that's a problem. Again, okay, I'm going to say one thing to all the people dooming right now. Like I see the flock cameras, the surveillance and stuff. For one thing, why focus on all that stuff out of our control? The flock camera surveillance, I touch upon it when it's relevant. Right now, it's not relevant in the moment, based on what's going on today. Here's the deal. What Trump is doing is he's giving us back our sovereignty. He's empowering the people again. He's creating America to prosper again, sovereignly. He's doing that by what he's doing foreign and what he's doing domestic. It's to boom us. Here's the deal. Tech is always going to grow no matter what. It's always going to grow no matter what. You cannot stop it. So what is Trump doing? He's giving the people more power to set limits locally. If we stay involved locally, if we take back our country, we can navigate the growing tech in the future and protect ourselves. That's what Trump's doing. That's the only way to fight it long term, except to stop it. If you stop tech, if you stop innovation, you create poverty, because everybody else will soar past us. And so you have to navigate, how do I not stop the advance of tech while also making sure it doesn't take over and the overlords can't control us? You give power to the people. You give power to the people, and the more power the people have, the more they can hold all that stuff in check. And that's what Trump's doing, and that's what I see him doing every day. And that's why I'm not freaking out about flock cameras. But you know what? They want you freaking out about it. They want you scared. They want you believing that no matter what, they will always be in charge and they'll always have power. Because if you're dooming, if you're black-pilled, you're no good. You can't help anything. Do you understand that? Because you'll just check out, or you'll always complain, and you'll either be working for them by complaining and by knocking down our own side, or you'll be working for them by sitting it out because you're black-pilled. So that's why I don't spend all this time on surveillance and flock camera shit, because guess what? Ultimately, that's in our future fight. That's our future fight. We're not there yet. But what I do see is every day Trump is doing stuff to make Americans more powerful in our own lives. And the more powerful we are in our own life, the less any of that stuff matters, because we will be able to control it. And so that's why I don't worry about it. That's not our fight right now. Right now, our fight is beat the globalists, disempower them, get power back to the people, and then we can fight these other battles down the road. The battles are never going to be over. And so everybody who's like, oh my God, we're not doing this battle and this battle. I'm like, fight the battle in front of you right now. Because every day of our lives, there's a battle to fight. You understand that? It will never stop. But the thing is, if we win these big battles, the smaller battles will get easier. And the surveillance flock camera stuff is a smaller battle. First, we need to beat the overlords who are trying to destroy our system and ruin our lives with economics, deep state, all that. We defeat all that, the flock surveillance battle becomes easy. Okay? And that's why I don't go into any of that stuff. All right? So we are not dooming here, because we are winning so much. We are winning so much. And by the way, you'd be stoked if the flock cameras are on the border. Right now, guys, if you don't like my show because I'm not focusing on what you don't want, okay, but that's not my problem. It's yours. I will be honest with everybody right now. By the way, please hit that like and subscribe. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm focused on the sovereignty versus globalist fight. That's what I'm focused on. Everything else is secondary, tertiary to me. I will go on it when I don't have anything else to talk about. But right now, I want to see the City of London globalist system absolutely destroyed. I want to see China held in check. I want to see Americans get back our economy and our sovereign rights. That's what I care about. That's what I care about. That's what my show is focused on. If you don't like it, go watch Whitney Webb and go doom yourself to death. I'm not that person. I'll never be that person. I think that's weak and pathetic and off base of where we're at. But that's where some people want to live. The other place people want to live that I'm never going to is this doomer, theology bullshit that is, oh, no matter what, the world has to get worse for Jesus to come back. F that. Sorry, I hate that crap. I studied theology for 25 years, actually 30 years, eschatology 25 years, and I have a much different interpretation of what the Bible says than that crap. I think that crap is its own psyop to get you all to check out. That will not be talked about here. I believe God, the government of Jesus is always expanding, as it says in Isaiah, and that means we don't go backwards. So we are winning, and we're going to keep winning, and we have no choice, because like in Proverbs it says, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children's children, 3 generations, which means I cannot, I'm a bad man if I believe the next generation is screwed. I'm a bad man if I believe there's no hope. That's what the Bible says. You take it up with the Bible. A good man is planning for the future. A good man is planning, hopefully. And I'm not, Jesus will come back when he comes back. That's not my focus. My focus is, what am I going to do for my kids, my grandkids, my great-grandkids, so they have a better life than I had? That's this show. If you don't like it, go. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, because I don't care. I have patriots here who want to fight for the future, who want to do what's right, who are focused on making a better future. That's my audience. That's the audience I want. And everybody else can go. If that costs me, if that stops me from having 1 million viewers someday, so be it. My 40,000 subscribers will be way more powerful than a 6 million subscriber group of a doomer pill. And that's, you know, that's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing here. Okay, rant over. We have a lot more to get into, a lot more winning. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Again, guys, if you want to get my attention, please tag me. Please, you know, if you want to support the channel, always super chats welcome. They're guaranteed to be read. Or join the membership. Click the link in the description, get a free month, and try it out. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. The good man has a nagging woman driving her out of her well, run home to get the work done. Monica, that's very funny. That makes me laugh. Let's see. Thanks, guys. A lot of great people in here. Appreciate that. Thanks, Mark. You guys are the best. Cathartic rant. Yeah, it was cathartic. It felt good. It felt good. All right, folks. We got to talk about what Trump's doing worldwide. All right. So let's get into this. Real quick, Sir Pizza says, I'm a middle school teacher in rural North Carolina. Kids are waking up at a greater rate in their younger years, more than reported. Have faith, we're getting through. Amen. I love that. Thank you. Holy Smoke says, all that doomer Bible prophecy works in the opposite of what God wants us to do. Fight evil, live with hope. 100%. 100%. So, okay, let's get into it, shall we? I got more segments to get into. I got to move fast because I already went long on my first one, but that's okay. Remember, I am on vacation with my family. I can't, the problem with my rants is they go long, but we're gonna pull through. Okay, guys. So right now, Trump's fighting this war in Iran, and people are dooming about it left and right. Oh, Israel! Why Trump get us in here? He's just Bush all over again. None of it could be further from the truth. Trump is brilliantly fighting this war, and he's doing so by bombing them, but also economically, which is just something we don't do in our nation. At least we haven't in recent years, because we didn't want to actually win these wars. We wanted Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam to keep going, because that's how we funded a lot of crap. And that's how we stole from the American people a lot faster. And that's what the globalists want. They always want that. That's why Ukraine's going on. Meanwhile, Trump is kicking Iran's booty. And he's not just doing it by bombing them, as even the New York Post is now forced to admit that Iran's economy is near the breaking point. Citizens are reportedly stealing basic groceries to get by. It's getting into the mainstream. Which, by the way, as far as I know, me, Rich Does Politics, Promethean Action, a couple other places are the only place you heard this reported. We've been telling you over and over again, and now the mainstream media is forced to report it. And that's how obvious it's becoming and how much Trump is winning this. Here's a great little breakdown. Nearly every part of Iran's oil economy, the oil companies, sovereign wealth fund, banks, petrochemical sector owes massive growing sums to each other, with no real money moving through the system. Iran's oil sector, long seen as the regime's most reliable revenue source, has been buried in debt by its officials' admission. Company that runs Iran's oil, NEOC, just had its bank accounts frozen. They say the underlying tax bill is so large it's essentially unpayable. They've been running on debt. They've been trying to just get by until the Trump administration would hopefully back off. Separately, Iran's oil ministry owes about $17 billion to Iran's sovereign wealth fund. Top of that, the government just rescheduled 55 billion euros of oil sector debt owed to the central bank. The petrochemical companies separately owe the oil ministry another roughly $8 billion. It's all collapsing on itself. This is why they're more afraid of the Treasury Department than the War Department. And here, this is the story from New York Post. Food crisis in Iran when inflation becomes a threat to health in the future. And a breakdown. Iran's famine has begun. Iranians are starving, turning to changing consumer habits just to get food in their stomachs. This is how you get the people to fight back and take back their country. Iranian and BRICS-aligned sources have been saying the exact same thing for months now. Food inflation is so high, Iranians will be starving to death in the coming months. Iranians themselves saying this. IRGC doesn't care if they starve. No, but I bet they care about mass larceny and civil disorder. You think on the latest pullback, Trump knows this? I think so. We're going to see Lebanon-style scenes where Iranians are ram-raiding corner stores and holding grocery clerks at gunpoint just to eat, and then mass protests from there, military and police defections, and they get the Romanov treatment. It's in the same position as Russia in 1917. Its citizens starving and suffering for unpopular war. Its government is intent on continuing. Inflation levels in Iran parallel Russia right before February Revolution. The difference is that this time, in 1917, the Tsars were in control and the Bolsheviks led the revolution. This time, the bad guys are in control and the people will lead the revolution and get their government back. That's what they're afraid of. That's what it's lining up for. While this is going on, news that the current Khamenei is about to die. We've said this for a while. The gay Ayatollah, well, we know he's been, initially he was very wounded, maybe even in coma. Now it's coming out he's on his deathbed. This is all falling apart for Iran very quickly, folks. Very quickly. You got Pete Hegseth posting this sharing this story right here. This is directly from Hegseth. Trump won the Iran war. Here's a reality check. The inconvenient truth doubters don't want to talk about. If Trump were losing, none of these initiatives would be happening. Instead, what's being witnessed is increased American influence, increased partnerships, and more momentum for framework Trump envisions to bring long-term peace and stability. These are not signs of defeat, but regional transformation. Spin doctors can spin whatever they damn well please, but the historians are going to write that Trump's most consequential force in reshaping the Middle East in modern memory. Wow. Wow. How is everything we've been saying on this channel since March, since Trump first went in and it was obvious he was decimating the area, how, I should say obliterating, because people always correct me on the decimating thing. That only means 10%, bro. How amazing is it that all these people are now starting to report exactly what we were saying the whole time? Isn't that incredible? I think so. I think it's pretty incredible because it's so overwhelmingly obvious now. Things are changing. Trump is completely changing the Middle East. Look at this. If X want to be weird on me when I pull it up. Waiting. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Pakistan sign Islamic NATO-style defense pact amidst the Iran war. Why? Because Iran has been a thorn in all their sides. Trump is getting all these countries to start entering sovereign pacts with each other. Now, some people are going to doom over this and be like, oh my God, they're combining. Why is that such a worry to you all? We weren't never going to attack these countries. This isn't a threat to us. So why would they do this? Because the Middle East is becoming more sovereign. The Middle East is starting to look out for its own. This is a good thing long term. We don't want to fight these people anyways. This is them against Iran. We're all looking out for each other in case this goes south. But this is a good thing. Now, the next step is to get these people to enter the Abraham Accords, which Trump is seriously putting pressure on Saudi Arabia to do so. Because if Saudi Arabia does so, and now Saudi Arabia is in this pact, guess what? Pakistan and Turkey are going to have to come in some way, shape, or form. Oh, man. This isn't 5D chess, folks. This is 17D chess. This is incredible stuff we're seeing. Absolutely incredible. And then, while all that's going on, just signs of winning, signs of reshaping the Middle East left and right. Oh, guess what? The Strait of Hormuz is just getting back to normal. Hormuz flowed 7 million barrels yesterday, bringing the 7-day average up to 6.7, pretty close to the average of the MOU. What? It's just going back up that easily? As Will Chamberlain says, it looks like 2 weeks of bombing the hell out of Bandar Abbas is paying dividends. You think? You think? It's getting, gas is staying cheaper. Trump has been able to now go in and out of bombing Iran without oil even staying in the 90s. In fact, this last time it didn't even go above 85, 86. That's incredible. And every stupid expert, every fraud City of London expert is being completely exposed as just hating Trump and America because of their lies. Oil's going to go up to 130. Oil's going to go up to 160. Not even close, any of it. Really? I mean, seriously? It's just crazy. Just crazy. And then look at this. U.S. oil imports from Saudi Arabia fall to 0. You know what nobody can ever say again if this holds? Is that Saudi Arabia controls us. All those years, Obama, Biden, Bush, Clinton, going to the Saudis to beg them to keep producing more for OPEC so our oil prices would go down. And now we don't depend on them at all. 40 years since we last didn't import from Saudi Arabia. We're becoming energy independent, folks. And not enough people talk about, for every MAGA doomer, for every person like Trump isn't getting it done. Do you understand the prosperity that comes from being energy independent? It's unbelievable. We don't know what it's like. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. The prosperity that will come from this, that we are now the net exporter, unbelievable stuff. Then, of course, here's how you know we're winning. They're trying to get Trump and Hegseth, drive a wedge between them. Here is a story from the Washington Post, which you can't trust at all. Trump's frustration over the Iran war boiled over at Camp David last week, where he demanded answers from Secretary Hegseth on why he'd been misled on munition shortages. All of this is a lie. As Carol Levin says, I was at Camp David with Trump and Hegseth. This literally never happened. We told the Post that repeatedly. This BS story was shopped to many outlets by someone clearly out to disparage the secretary. Fortunately for them, the president loves the secretary and thinks he's doing a tremendous job. Fake news. But why go after Hegseth? Because they've always gone after Hegseth. Hegseth is a disaster for the City of London. He's rebuilding our military. And if our military, we have the hard power stronger than ever, the soft power can't win. The soft power being the intelligence agencies, the financial systems, the blackmailing. It can't win if we have the hard power. And Trump came out himself to say it. Fake news as usual, spreading false and completely unfounded rumors. I'm extremely happy with Pete. Everything's been extraordinary, including Venezuela, where the result was accomplished in less than a day. To Likewise, Iran, where the country has been decimated for the purpose of not allowing it to ever have a nuclear weapon, going very well. Pete's highly respected in the military, has made tremendous improvements, getting rid of DEI, increasing recruiting to historic levels. Rumor started Washington compost. Oh, that's great. One of the worst media outlets in the business, despite our telling them a story, is completely false. In actuality, I really believe their fake reporting is treasonous. What did Trump say the other day? Their treason keeps coming up lately. The leakers, this is treason. Military, the Washington Post, this is treasonous. I think Trump's starting to seed narratives, folks, to get us ready for what's coming. I really do. Now, as Trump keeps winning in Iran, and this is getting more and more obvious, guess what? Oh, the push to stay in Ukraine is ramping up from our own Mike Pompeo. Once upon a time, Trump's Secretary of State, CIA Director, total deep stater Mike Pompeo. For 4 years, we've given Kiev what it needs to fight but not win. That doesn't hurt Ukraine, it hurts America. Oh, they're so sad. He's so sad that Ukraine's not going to win. This is in response to this story. Ukraine tried to secure a license to produce Patriot missiles under Biden, but Washington rejected it. Oh, poor Ukraine, poor deep staters, poor globalists. Let's try to get Mike Pompeo to say something. Maybe something can happen. Not going to happen, folks. Trump administration, again, the game is play nice with Ukraine on the front, because there's a lot of Americans still psyop to believe that the Ukraine thing is, legitimate. But meanwhile, behind the scenes, making sure they can't win. They can't win. They can't ramp it up, because they really, really want this to ramp up so that they can have their World War III. But the Trump administration is dismantling all of that. So allowing Ukraine to get weaker. The Department of State is now sharing Axios's article on no escape inside Rubio's Cuba pressure campaign. Axios now is being forced to report the truth on what Rubio is doing to Cuba. That's because it's building up so much. And how do I know this is true? Before everybody's like, don't trust Axios. Well, guys, the Department of State shared it. So that tells me this is a true story. And all of this is undoing all the globalist controls, all their proxies, all their tentacles, so that as it falls apart and they weaken, we get back into prosperity and sovereignty. It's all a part of it. It's all a part of it. Little by little, it's working. It's working. Now, let's talk about in the markets as well, because this is a big signifier of what's to come. This is breaking the globalists financially, which Trump and Bissett understand more than any other president, any other of our leaders in modern history, maybe ever. Because to defeat the globalists, their main system is a financial one. To defeat them, you defeat them economically. And then this is what's happening right now with Japan and the carry trade, and what Trump's doing to weaponize it against Europe. United States sold euros to buy yen without telling the ECB, European Central Bank, until after the trade was done. Senior ECB officials called it unprecedented breach of longstanding conventions. One said this has never happened before. They are freaking out. See, we have been intertwined with Europe, this globalist financial system, for so long. They were hoping we'd let Japan fall apart, and then we could all benefit off of it as this collapse happens. So what is Trump now doing? Selling all the stuff that combines us into their economy, hurting Europe, and using it to prop up Japan. This is huge. Selling dollars to defend the yen would have contradicted Bissett's strong dollar policy. Selling euros avoids that problem. But selling a European asset to defend an Asian currency to protect an American bond market without consulting them, whose asset was sold, is not a currency intervention. It's the reserve architecture consuming the alliance architecture. In other words, screw you guys, we don't care. Oh, but Europe's not the bad guy. They're not the real enemy. Oh, no, it's trying. Guys, I'm telling you, once you see it, you can't unsee it. We are continually okay with screwing over Europe. And there's a reason for that. The reason Washington intervened at all is the part nobody wants to say. Japan's the largest foreign holder of U.S. treasuries. Yen was at its weakest since '86. If yen falls far enough, Japanese institutions sell their most liquid foreign asset to raise cash. This guy kind of gets it, but this isn't the full story. The real reason, it says Washington did not intervene to help Japan. Washington intervened to prevent the treasury market from absorbing. I disagree with this statement. I think, yeah, that's part of it. But the real reason, Japan's on our side. Takeichi is Japan MAGA. Japan wants nothing to do anymore with the globalists. They made their choice. They are Team America. They are Team Sovereignty. And Trump is rewarding our allies while also protecting American interests. It's both and, not either or. It's both and. He's doing, it's a dual attack on Europe while defending us, everybody on our side. We don't know how this will play out, but the fact Europe is so freaked out over this, by the way, this is from the Financial Times, so that's a globalist paper, so they know this is a freak out. They're freaking out so bad because they know this is their last hold, their last area of power in the US, because Trump has been weakening them so many places that the last big thing they have is the financial markets. And now Trump is saying, cool, you guys have that power still. In fact, I believe they want to crash the markets before the midterms to hurt Trump. But what Trump's doing right now is he's set them up that if we go down, you go down way harder. That's what I'm seeing here. And the fact they're so shocked about it tells me they know they don't have a lifeline anymore. And this is massive. And that brings us all the way back to Iran and how this is helping unwind all of it. In the middle of the war, Islamic regime provoked with U.S. and Israel. While Iranian people are crushed under economic collapse and misery, government suddenly sends an urgent bill to parliament. Why so urgent? Selling off Iran's remaining rights in the Caspian Sea to Russian and British masters, probably hoping these same masters will throw the regime a lifeline so it can keep fighting the U.S. In other words, they're running out of their cash, folks. Something most non-Iranians don't understand. For centuries, control over Iran was the prize in the rivalry between Soviet Russia and Britain. After Pahlavi's strong independent government actually had an alliance with America, not a colonial master, this colonial master-servant relationship, Shah was brought down. So she brings it all up, but here's where it ends. Most non-Iranians think the mullahs are crazy religious fanatics. They're not. Ideology is only the public mass for money and power. Each cartel inside the regime protects the interests of different foreign masters. The reformist cartel, Rouhani, now Pezeshkian, serves London. The Ghalibaf cartel serves Putin. Now, I'm not sure 100% on this, but it wouldn't surprise me based on the past. But Putin's already backing out. Trump's already submitted that. Take Al-Razi Akbari, former Deputy Defense Ministry Senior Security official. He's executed in 23 after being exposed as a longtime MI6 spy. Russia burned him and handed the information to the regime. One of London's high-level assets inside the system got sacrificed when the other master decided it was useful. Khomeini's real job was managing the competition between these cartels so none of them became too dominant. Now he's gone, gloves are off, and they're openly fighting for the top seat. This is why Trump is dealing with the IRGC along with other officials who want to make peace. And it's just destroying all of them. All of them. Trump isn't really negotiating with the regime, he's negotiating with Putin. We know that. London, we know that, which he's negotiating by breaking them. The Arabs and China make them abandon Iran. The moment those lifelines are cut, this corrupt system will collapse. Iran will be freed, and the globalists will have lost their greatest asset in the Middle East, which might be their last great asset in general for maintaining the kind of global power they had. They're certainly losing the money. Between shipping and oil, everything they're losing and the manipulation and the insurance, all that, it's estimated over $2 trillion they made for that the last 20 years. City of London is collapsing in real time, folks, because of everything going on in Iran and how Trump and Bessent are navigating all the economic stuff. Then you throw in Cuba, Venezuela, Ukraine, etc. It all makes sense. City of London is falling down. And we're just here watching it happen in real time. All right, folks, hit that like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching. Let me get into the chat real quick and make sure I'm not missing anybody. Let's see, a couple super chats came in. $2 from Ashley Basis sounds good. Awesome. Sven with the $2 super chat says can't be 100 million illegals or California would have 90 seats. That might be true. Thank you, Sven and Based. Johnny Hinojosa, $20 super chat. Thank you, friend. So Asmongold's one of them. Unfortunately, he says Trump hasn't brought the bacon. But it's because he just watched, so it's viral, not the whole vision. I hate that because he's big, but he's a libtard. Asmongold is common sense, but he's also uneducated on politics, geopolitics. So he sees what he sees and calls it out as he sees it, and that's fine. He's still better than the alternatives. I think if Asmongold could see more of what's going on, listen to the right people, he'd wake up quick. I think he's got a sharp brain. But you got to think, Asmongold used to be left, and now he's like center-right. I'll take that as the largest streamer in the world. I'll take that any day. If he's helping us defeat wokeness, if he's helping us, like, encouraging a lot of what Trump's doing as far as, like, fighting the Democrats, immigration, etc., that's a win. And so we'll take our wins where we can get them. Thank you, Johnny, for the $20. Jeremy James, $5 super chat says, Aches makes his monitors yell, I have the power every morning. It's true. We get together on a group chat, and we all just yell out He-Man lines until we're ready to go into battle. So there you go. That's how it works. Was I on YouTube during Butler? Yeah, you can go back and watch my stuff. Let's see here. Did I miss anything else? Any tags? Trying to find, because I gotta keep moving, but I want to make sure I'm. All right, I think. Looks like I caught most of the comments. Oh, Monica says, Asmon wants to be left alone to play video games with boobs. That's it. Yes. That's all true. He is a canary, what they tolerate. There's truth to that for sure. I still think he's a net positive in general. As far as like exposing stuff. Thank you, Office Linebacker. I appreciate that. By the way, that's one of my favorite commercials ever. Thank you, Johan. I appreciate you. You guys are all so nice today. I appreciate it. This is great. Great group. Great group. Everybody having fun? Oh, yeah, we're having a great time. Which is why I got to keep moving. That's why I got to keep moving through stuff. So I got two other segments I want to get to, guys. And I actually think one of these is extremely important because there's a giant fight. And it's a PSYOP campaign going on X this week. So we gotta address it. Take a Dump says American-Russian alliance would be a force hard to compete with globally. Oh yeah, it will, and it's gonna happen. It's all set up. Asmon's mother was MAGA. I didn't know that. Interesting, very interesting. Okay, let me blow my nose and we'll get to this. I got some allergies at the lake. That sucks. Okay, let's do this. So if you've been paying attention, if you've been on X at all, there's been a massive campaign right now to attack the Trump administration over affordability. This is happening right in time when the midterms, people are starting to tune in for the midterms. Do not think for 1 second this isn't coordinated. Do not think for a second this isn't coordinated, okay? Because it is. It's everywhere. And we got to break this right now. So we're gonna expose it and spend this video, this time, breaking it apart. Because, guys, right now it's all assets deployed time. Everybody who's got any establishment ties, anybody who's got deep state ties, anybody who's on the left, part of the globalists, all are deployed right now. And this includes Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, all these guys who were establishment Republicans who went all in for DeSantis. They showed us who they were back then. And what do? Well, when they first come in order to keep their audience, they got to support Trump. But then they sit and they wait, and then they attack when they perceive weakness or when it's desperation time. And the attack is on right now. The attack's on right now. Matt Walsh, he kind of started this. This is actually from a few days ago. He said grocery prices are insane. They're still rising. Addressing this problem should be #1 priority of every elected leader. End the stupid wars. Focus on the issue. It's one of the main reasons socialists are gaining power. Now, Matt takes a truth, which is that grocery prices are much higher. They have been since Biden's inflation took off. And so he's right about that. He's right that people are upset about that. But this is the lie. He's insinuating that Trump hasn't done anything for this. But everybody who understands economics and understands policy understands that Trump has already done more than Reagan ever did for the economy. The problem is we're in the early stages and the full effects haven't arrived yet. And that's a fact. You can go back and look at what Reagan did. It took 2 years for Reagan's policies to finally boom America. Trump's done more than Reagan. And we're still in it's July 4th last year. It's the One Big Beautiful Bill. It's been 13 months, folks. 13 months. And we're already seeing some results, but yeah, it doesn't happen. If Matt was honest, what he'd be doing to try and win the midterms is explain Trump has done amazing and prices will go down. That's what he should be doing. He should be explaining to his audience, but he's dooming. Why? Get you to stay home for the midterms. They want the Democrats to win. They want the establishment to win in 28 and come back. They want to kill MAGA. That's what they want. And here's how I know it. It is an all-out campaign right now. An all-out campaign, and it's so coordinated, it's sick. Jack Posobiec has also joined in on this. Cernovich, all pushing hard. Posobiec, he's Bannon's little guy for this. He is a Bannon wing. Rachel Bovard, I mean, it's everywhere. Affordability, 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 neocons. What they're doing is now it's their turn to try and divide MAGA. Tucker, Marjorie, they're failing. So let's get the conservatives in here. Let's get the conservative radio people doing this. And the push is going on. Another place we're seeing it is at any coincidence. It's all happening at the same time. How about New York Post? You know what the New York Post is? New York Post, Rupert Murdoch. Yeah, same guy who owns Fox News. Traditional Republican. What's he doing? Food prices up 33%. As Americans battle the highest grocery spike in 50 years. No relief in sight. Oh my God. Oh my God. Problem is this is an extremely misleading headline. This, July 28th, just a couple days before Matt Walsh. This makes it sound like this just happened under Trump. Oh, but there's a problem with that. You see, their story with that misleading headline making you guys all think it happened from Trump. If you get into the story, it talks about 33% in 7 years. Starting with COVID, it exploded. That's the truth. But that's not what the headline says. The headline makes you think it's all Trump. Reverend Wells breaks it down well. Grocery prices exploded 23% under Biden. Rates had slowed sharply under Trump. Stop rewriting history. Grocery prices didn't magically explode under Trump. They surged more than 23% under Biden from 21 to 25. Worst at-home inflation in 40 years. The higher price got locked in. Since Trump returned, rate of grocery inflation has been a fraction of that damage. Some items have been dropped. Leftover pain you're feeling is Biden left behind, not something Trump created. Absolutely. Here is where we're at. Considering what Trump came into office with, this is a miracle that it's this low already. Prices falling after Biden's inflation disaster. But that's not what they're pushing. Why isn't Matt Walsh saying this? Why isn't Jack Posobiec saying this? No, instead, they're yelling about $20 burritos. $20 burritos. That's the new buzzword. That's the new buzzword on X. You know what's retarded about $20 burritos? I can go to Chipotle and get a $13 steak burrito right now. Goes up to $15 if I want guac. Okay, yeah, that's expensive. And nobody's saying it's not. But $20 is insane. Nobody pays $20 for a burrito unless you're retarded or you're door dashing. And if you're door dashing, you're paying for DoorDash, you're paying for delivery, you're paying tip, delivery fee, and a burrito, sure, it'll be over $20. That's your fault for being lazy. You don't get to complain about that. You don't get to complain about delivery, about your lazy, easy life being expensive. Guess what? If you want to be lazy, you're going to pay for it. Or the government will pay for it, but we're trying to fix that right now. But here's the deal. Nobody's paying $20 for a burrito. 99% of burritos, unless you go to a super fancy restaurant, are going to be $10 around that range. That's crazy. That's more than it should be. I miss when Chipotle was $6. 2006 in California. First time I ate Chipotle, $6.50 for my burrito. It was bomb. That felt like a lot of money right there. But this is what's being pushed around all of X. $20 burritos, $20 burritos. How dare you pay for a $20 burrito? It's insane. It's insane. But thankfully there is some pushback here. But this is the thing they're trying to psyop us into. See, there is an affordability issue. We are dealing with the problems of Biden, and whether you like it or not, the only way to fix these problems immediately is if, and it doesn't fix anything, but is if the government gave you money. So when you ask yourself, when you're angry about Trump and not doing enough to fix affordability, what are you asking for? Are you saying you want more welfare? Because Trump just can't sign an order and make all business. We're a capitalist society. We're a free society. He can't just sign an order and make everybody lower their prices. That's illegal. That's not American. That's socialism. That's communism. Is that what you want? Fixing the affordability? Is that what you want? Because that's the only way to fix things immediately. James Lindsay's been calling it out. See, this is Matt Walsh responding to somebody else. What do you think the solution is? What should they focus on? Matt says they should focus on the fact grocery prices have gone up more than 30%. They're still rising. But where's the solution? Where's the policy, Matt? Do you have any ideas? No, you don't, because you're a grifter. James Lindsay calls it out. This is absolutely amazing. Matt's idea of a solution, they should focus harder. Focus harder. Man, if they were focusing harder at work. You know how retarded this is? Trump lowered taxes and he's deregulating. He's brought tariffs in so our wages go up. Do you understand what all that does? Deregulation leads to lower prices. Less taxes mean more money in your pocket. Tariffs protect our industry so people can pay more. Kicking people out, illegals out, makes your wages go up because the cheap labor is gone. All of that is targeting affordability. Anybody who says he's not focused on affordability is retarded, unless you want communism, unless you want him to just control the whole economy and control prices, in which case, eventually we collapse. That's the only way. That's the only way for Trump to fix it differently than he already has. He's done everything he can do to lower prices. He's going after fraud. That will lower prices. He's cutting welfare. That will lower prices. Everything. What else could he possibly do? Does anybody have an idea? No, you don't. And that's because, like Matt Walsh, anybody who believes Trump isn't focusing on this is retarded or lying. And Matt Walsh is lying. He is absolutely lying. A lot of these are. But the Trump administration is doing a lot to fix this. A lot. And grocery stores now are starting to step up and announce it. And they're making a big deal of this. Why? Because Trump wants them to. He wants them to announce where they can cut because of their policies. Brooke Rollins announced, Ag Secretary, major grocers stepping up to help lower prices for American families. We've had this from Walmart and several others now Major. lowering prices on more than 1,000 grocery and household items, from fresh meat like ground beef to produce. Fresh food purchases increasing 7.5% in the last year. By the way, what a win is that? Less people buying processed foods, more people buying real food. Huge win. And then we got manufacturing increasing. 5 major components of ISM manufacturing index are now in expansion, including manufacturing employment. That's going to bring better jobs, more money. Amazing stuff. I don't know what's up with X today. It keeps coming in all weird. Trump taking on the oil companies for price gouging. I mean, this is something people want, right? This is focusing on affordability.
And Chevron, Integrated Oil U.S., just announced record profits second quarter. Unbelievable. For Exxon, for instance, 14 billion highest they've had in over a decade. For Chevron for the quarter, highest in history.
By 12 times.
On the back.
You saw that?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. On the backs.
I don't like it.
Workers paying higher gas.
Yeah.
They're
making too much money. Okay. Based on a shortage, they're making too much money. I don't like it. And I should be the last one to say, because I'm a big free enterprise guy, nobody bigger. And, you know, you're going to see oil, when we're finished with Iran, you're going to see the prices drop through the floor. But they made too much money. Too much money. Chevron, too much money. ExxonMobil, too much money. When you look at one company where they made 12 times what they made the year before.
Does that sound like focusing on the economy? I'd say so. It makes me happy. That's what I want to see. And then we got the truth, and data sometimes hurts, folks. Data sometimes hurts, but here's the truth. Trump's policies are already working. It's going to take a while till everybody feels better. I mean, gosh, I would love prices to be what they were 10, 15 years ago. I would love that, of course. I would love wages to be what they are now, plus that. I would, absolutely. But it takes time. But we're heading in the right direction. Bissett says himself, a familiar act of mainstream media sophistry. Work backward from partisan verdict and call result analysis. Well, that's what Matt Walsh just did. That's what Tucker Carlson does. That's what all these grifters do. Truth is, wages are up for Americans across distribution, but importantly, earnings growth for Main Street workers in the 25th percentile is 5.5%. Look at this. Lower income workers in the last year have gained the most. Lower income workers, 5.5% wage increase. Medium workers, 4.5%. Highest income, 1.5%. That's called a wage gap, and that's called it closing. Trump term 1 was the first time in like 40 years the wage gap got smaller. It's happening again. Trump's policies are for the working class, not for the upper class, which is one of the big lies they love to tell you to hate Trump. One of the huge lies. And then here's a reality check for some people. Are prices up? Yes. But look at this. This is from Los Angeles, 2012. Online order for Chipotle in LA, 2012. Median household income, 2012, $53,000. LA County, Chipotle Carnitas burrito, $670. Monthly income to burrito ratio, 0.015%. Today, median income, 14 years later in LA, $91,000. Carnitas burrito, $11.40. Monthly income to burrito ratio, 0.015%. See, prices have gone up, and it's been hard for the lower class for sure. And I am not negating that. But we've also entered an age where people they like eating out so much versus eating at home that the idea of what they're entitled to has also added to the aspect of what they want and they believe is happening. Because you're door dashing, you're going out to eat, those prices are up, sure. And then you couple the fact that rent is up, mortgages are up. Yeah, all that's true. Prices are up. And so it feels horrible. But the truth is, even though it is worse than it was, it's not as much worse as it was than you think it is. And that's because of our minds, because we're constantly beaten over the head with how bad things are. And so they take a small truth, prices are up, people's income does stretch less now. That's true, but they exacerbate it by lying to us about it being so much worse. And also, in this modern culture, social media culture, kids, young people especially, watch a whole bunch of crap that makes them think, I should be living that life. That life's easy. Why am I not living that? So this comparison life has also made things worse. I'll tell you right now, guys, I run a household of 8. I have 6 kids. My grocery budget is $400 a week. And we cook almost exclusively at home. In that grocery budget, that $400 a week, it has not increased in 3 years. And I have teenagers. So they're eating more now. I'm just telling you, just to be really honest, is my food budget a lot? Yeah, that's $1,600 a month. Some long months, you know, based on how it adds, I spend $2,000 a month on food for this family. It's a lot of money. It's my number one expense other than my rent. But you know what? We make it work, and it hasn't exploded. So that idea is a lie. Now, I live in North Carolina. Some blue states, it might be worse because of taxes, but it's not Trump doing this. Things have stabilized. The next thing is it going down. The next thing is it going down. Look at this, as James Lindsay just shared. Median wages versus grocery prices. Nominal levels indexed to 2016. Median weekly earnings, 149. Grocery prices, 133.5. Look at the spread. Comparatively, groceries are less based on our incomes than they were just a few years ago. See, the real problem isn't the grocery prices, folks. It's the eating out problem. And also, people wanting to eat out all the time. That's gone way more expensive than groceries by themselves. But the other thing is, rent is killing people. Energy prices are killing people. Not the groceries. It's not the groceries. Average American family in 1901, 42% of the budget on food. Oh, how entitled we are these days. 23% 1945, 15% 1965, today 9.5%, but we eat out far more. That's what people are really paying for. Recent years, we had a spike because of COVID, inflationary domestic policy, and things like avian flu and drought, and for beef manipulation and eggs manipulation, but whatever. Grocery prices aren't insane. Americans spend less of their budget on food than any other country. We certainly don't need the Air Force to come home and help us with our groceries. We can do less with whiny doomer grievance culture. Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, folks, this is not me telling you things are hunky-dory because they're not. This is not me telling you things don't need to be fixed because they do. We deserve better. We're America, damn it. We should be improving all the time. And the shock of the last 10 years has sucked. Okay? It sucked. But the point is, the psyops have made us all think it's so much worse than it actually is. The entitlement culture of, I should be able to eat out. I should be able to DoorDash. So I don't have to get off my big fat butt to go get a burrito. Oh my God, look how expensive it is. That culture makes it worse. The thing is, we can do this, and it will get better. But we have to defeat these psyops because they are using these. They are using these psyops to try and hurt Trump before the midterms because we are winning, but they don't want you to notice it. The facts are the facts, guys. That's why I show you the data. And again, not denying realities for people. It is harder for some people, absolutely, for a lot of people. But you look at stuff like this, and it gives you a little dose of reality. We can get through this time. We can get through. Our modern hard time is nothing compared to the hard times of the past. But up here, it feels like it, doesn't it? Thanks to Walsh and other doomers lying to us and making us believe that's so much worse than it really is. But all that said, we still got a ways to go. And thankfully, it's coming. Here's Kevin Hassett on the latest wage numbers.
Yeah, I mean, what's going on right now is if we do the old potential GDP calculations, then you add productivity plus capital deepening plus, labor force participation or labor's contribution. I think that one of the things you see in productivity is that it's probably running north of 2.5%. Capital spending probably adds at least 1% to that. So before you get to the labor story, you're looking at a 3.5% GDP number. And I think the labor story is still going to be positive. I just think that it's not going to be as positive as it typically has. If you go back over 40 years, the labor story adds about like 1 or 1.5% every year to GDP. I think now it's likely to be about a half of that or a third of that. Essentially, you see that, by the way, you mentioned the hourly earnings. If you look at the weekly earnings, they're actually up relative to inflation quite a bit. About $1,000 overall for all Americans, about $3,000 for manufacturing workers, $4,000 for construction workers. And so there is something going on, too, where people are something in hours that's going on that's offsetting the participation.
Wow. Those are real numbers, folks. It's happening. It's starting to spread. By this time next year, wages will be up even more. People will understand even more what they're saving on their tax bills. It will feel better because a lot of this is being fixed, but real fixes take time. Real fixes take time. Again, going back to Matt Walsh, everything he says here is all meant to get your focus off what is actually happening. As a conservative, as somebody who understands Reagan, or should, what Reagan did for this economy, the best economy in our modern lives, before Trump. Trump did everything Reagan did plus more. Again, for somebody not addressing, not a priority, getting rid of illegals helps prices and wages. Lower taxes helps prices and wages. Deregulation helps prices and wages. Trump's done all of that. Getting rid of fraud, cutting the welfare state, all of it helps. This is such a lie. It's such an egregious lie. We have work to do. Trump is doing it. And that's the main focus of everything I'm showing you guys today on this. It's not that we've arrived. It's not that it's all better. But the point is, number one, Trump's doing everything he can to get prices down, other than turning to communism price controls. And number two, it's not as bad as they say it is. When they start throwing this $20 burrito nonsense around there, that should have been the tell right there. Should have said to yourself, where the hell am I getting a $20 burrito? Not saying they don't exist. I'm saying it's about 3%, if that, of all burritos in our nation, which means you're getting a $20 burrito. That's you dooming about not being privileged enough, not affordability. And that, my friends, is how you tell a PSYOP how it's happening in real time. Okay. Thank you, guys. Hit that like and subscribe. We got one more little section coming up here in a minute, but I do want to get in the chat. I saw some super chats come in. I want to make sure I catch those and then cut up on everything else. So let's see. $5 super chat from Christine Dorr says, everyone should watch Promethean Action 2. Thank you. And I agree. Promethean Action is amazing. Night Raider with a $5 super chat. So by the way, thank you, Christine. Says, I'm a bit behind in video. The advantage to Vance is he's even stronger on migration policies than Trump is. Thank you, Night Raider, for your super chat. I don't know if I agree with that, but I do think he is strong. Molly Cruel with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, Facebook suppressing my posts since end of July. My pro-conservative content is getting tons of views, more likes I could count. Suddenly my content gets 25 views and or 1 or 2 likes. You know why, Motley? It's because it's election season. They don't want it getting out there. They don't want it getting out there before the midterms. Gigi Evan with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Gigi. Says, great burrito debates and exercise in sophistry for the erudite right. It's no different than when the leftist socialists talk about protecting democracy. 100%. You're 100% right on that. Thank you guys for the super chats. You are awesome. But yeah, it's a tagline to get people to do. I Speak For You says, something's up with Matt lately. $10 super chat. Thank you, I Speak. Says, almost everything is doom and gloom. He doesn't even join the group talks at DW. Daily Wire, I love your optimism and love of country. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I speak for you, and thank you for the super chat. Jacob Gestetner said a $1 super chat. Thank you, Jacob. With a, what was that? Little thumbs up, it looks like. But thank you very much, Jacob. And then a $5 super chat from Janet says the problem none of these people are factoring in is each state has a very real effect on all consumer prices. They do. Their prices, their taxes, all that has a massive effect on all of it. So completely agree with you. And thank you, Janet, for the support of the channel. Thank you, everybody, for your support of the channel and your super chats. I really, really appreciate it. Earth Angel with a $5 super chat. Just wanted to say you're doing a great job. Keep going. Thank you, Earth Angel. That means a lot to me. I'm not going to stop. I promise you I will not stop. That's not happening. Andrew, oh God, I don't even know what to say to that. No grifter report today, folks. I did 2 yesterday. Just got too much other stuff to get into. DJ Fusion says, what's been my favorite moment of Trump 2.0? Mine was day 2, the female bishop begging for sympathy to trans kids as Trump family sat annoyed. Man, I don't know. I've had so many moments I've loved. I would have to really think about that, honestly. Maybe I'll do a show sometime just going through my favorite moments so far. That would be a great halfway point, honestly. Farah Benoit says, to be fair, I think Matt's point was focus on as a talking point. It's true the admin should not try to get its message on the economy. I don't agree with you, and this is why. He adds this. He says, address this. It should be the number one. He doesn't say we need to get the messaging out because we're advancing. He doesn't say that. And then he says this, end the stupid foreign wars. He's basically trying to attack the Trump administration, get out of Iran. That, my friend, is not a messaging thing. No, this is an absolute grifter post trying to attack the Trump administration and psyop people. It just is. Sorry. I understand what you're saying, but I just strongly disagree with it. Let's see here. Tricky says, I should own a restaurant. Yeah. People can cook just as good. I agree with you. All right. Anything else here before we get moving? I got to get to the rest. Take a Dump says, that's actually hilarious. Their best talking point currently is $20 burritos because the Jews. It's so true. $20 burritos. The Jews! They got these $20 burritos. Okie Center, could low expected jobs report this morning be because of deported workers? Yes. And also the World Cup going away, which we'll talk about in the next segment. All right. You guys ready? Let's do it. Let's get into the next segment here. That's what we're going to talk about right now. Look at you, Okie. You're ahead of the curve. This is what we're talking about next. All right? This is what we're talking about next. So, but anyways, thank you. I just want to say thank you. Please hit the like and subscribe, guys. You are amazing. Everybody who donated to the channel, I'm so grateful to you. But also everybody liking, subscribing, watching. Thank you for spending your time with me today. This is going to be our final segment to today, and I'm going to go off to the lake for the rest of my time here. But all right, today we got jobs report numbers out, and they were not good. Just being honest with you, as somebody who's always talking about the Trump administration, what they're doing, how they're winning, which I do believe in, we got bad job numbers today. Just to be honest about it. But sometimes these job numbers, guess what? Month to month, they don't tell us a lot. Year to year, they do. Month to month, though, here's Kevin Hassett giving us a little breakdown on what these job numbers actually mean. Listen to him.
So the strength is what we've seen before: construction workers, manufacturing workers, and so on. The weakness in this number were really just two things: government workers and a sort of rebound from all the employment we got from the World Cup, because the World Cup was ending. And so if you throw out the World Cup and the government workers, we actually had a number that was about plus 100,000, which is about what we expected given that the unemployment rate went down and there's so many other factors like manufacturing booming, capital spending booming, real wages growing for the typical manufacturing worker, almost $4,000 since President Trump took office after adjusting for inflation. So there's all these strong numbers out there. So the strength is what we...
Did you hear what he said? It's very important. Context matters, folks. Why did the jobs go down? Well, World Cup's gone. Bunch of temporary jobs as one of the biggest sporting events in the world, probably second only to the Olympics, came to our nation. Thousands and thousands of people needed to work these events. Those all went bye-bye once the World Cup was over. So temp jobs, thousands of jobs gone. On top of that, what else did he say? Oh yeah, we're cutting the government jobs. So what did Hassett just tell us? If you take away the World Cup and you take away the government cuts, 100,000 private enterprise jobs gained last month. That to me, folks, sounds like a good win. That's exactly what we want, isn't it? Smaller government and great events that come and go, but sometimes create temporary job losses. Pretty amazing, I got to tell you. So again, it's very important to understand the context of these numbers. If it was nonstop going down, we'd have a big problem, but it's not. And we also got to remember that the Biden administration inflated the job numbers with illegals and nonstop growing the government, which the Trump administration has been undoing. Now, this is important because we're heading into the midterms, and they, of course, you know, Democrats, everybody, they're stoked about these numbers because most people will just look at the numbers and not look at the context. But, you know, unfortunately for them, things are getting so bad for their candidates, these kind of numbers ultimately people don't pay much attention to. And look at this kind of stuff. Abdullah Sayed, the guy who just won, the DSA candidate in Michigan, who the Democrats are freaking out about, who they actually tried to rig their own election against because they know he's probably going to be a loser flipping a seat to Republicans. Well, he just got caught using fake and foreign social media accounts posing as lifelong American Republicans in an effort to persuade Republican voters to like him. Here's the account. It's called The Seditionists. It says, as a lifelong Republican, Mike Rogers' campaign with Jeffrey Epstein's best friends, which is Trump, sickens me. I'll vote country first and vote for Abdul Sayed. Oh, too bad this is based in the United Kingdom. Guys, there are so many bots online lying to us about what's actually going on. Every time a narrative is pushed that doesn't make sense or seems out of left field, it's probably a bot campaign. It's probably a PSYOP campaign. And we're watching as those bot campaigns are coming out strong for the Democrats heading into the midterms. Why? Because they can't win on their own. They can't win on their own. And it just gets worse. In fact, the commies seem to have the greatest bot armies on their side. Look at this. Breaking. A secret bot army boosting Mamdani appears to be operating from City Hall. Oh, you mean Democrats got into the government, communists got into the government, now they're using that government to boost themselves illegally and in a deep state kind of way? According to exclusive reports, cyber experts say they're 100% sure the IP address is traced back there. The DSA's online supports AstroTurf. Yeah, guys, how long have I been telling you all that the communist push in our nation, the feeling that it's like coming back in this strong way, that we're actually becoming communists, it's spreading. It's a lie. See, the crazies in the Democratic Party are pushing their communist people forward in deep blue districts, but that's it. The rest of them, Americans hate communism. So everything you're seeing online that's really pushing up communism, making it feel overwhelming, it's a lie. It's a PSYOP created by stuff like this. Here's the report. Secret bot army boosting Mamdani on X seems to be coming from City Hall. The Post independently consulted cyber experts involved said they're 100% sure it traced from City Hall. Interesting. And this is why you got to know that it's not real, because there's real life and there's online life. Online life sometimes might feel like there's communists everywhere, that this is growing. But in real life, these people, these Democrats go out there saying crazy stuff, and people tell you what they really think.
Amy. I've long believed and supported funding for Order at the Border, and I have worked well with law enforcement in Minnesota for years. But what
Quiet.
Amy.
Did you hear them laughing at her and booing at her when she said that? Even at a Democrat place, Minnesota Farm Fest, liberal Minnesota, Amy Klobuchar says, I am a big person of the border, against the keeping a secure border, and they laugh her. They laugh at her and boo at her. Hilarious. That's real life, folks. Real people are waking up. The bot traffic is trying to get you to not believe it. Gavin Newsom is kind of giving us a tell right here of how afraid they are that their narrative no longer lasts. In response to the FCC scrapping a rule limiting the reach of TV station owners, setting the stage for more consolidation in the media industry, which is not completely true, Newsom writes, Trump continues to create a propaganda machine for his MAGA agenda. Really? They are scared. This is fear. They're losing their control. Remember, Gavin Newsom is the governor of Hollywood. This move by the FCC weakens longstanding ownership protections for broadcast media, making it easier for him to control what Americans see, hear, and read. The straight-out dictator's playbook. This is what he has to say. Why is he freaking out about this? Well, Brian Carr responds to him, who is the FCC commissioner. Hollywood and New York have enjoyed nearly unchecked power over broadcast TV for years. That is true. A little bit of balance is a good thing. Newsom's fake news notwithstanding. In fact, broadcasters made a deal with the American people. Broadcasters get free access to public resource. In exchange, they must operate in the public interest, not a partisan one. What this is doing, it's empowering people who have media conglomerates in the middle of the country, who might be conservative or Republican, to check Hollywood, to check New York. This is why they're freaking out. Every day, they're losing more power over the narrative. And so they are so upset about it. In America, the Democrats' last real power is the media. And that power has been getting weaker and weaker every year since Trump came on the scene 10 years ago. That is what they're freaking out about. And so what do? Cry. This is a dictator. They're suppressing the truth. Nope. The truth is getting out there. And so they want you to believe that what you're hearing is lies, because we're not listening to them anymore. While all this is going on, they're freaking out about this. The real people waking up, their bot accounts getting exposed. Trump's just doing Trump stuff for the American people. Our 5th nuclear test reactor reached criticality now. 5 nuclear reactors reaching criticality since Trump came in. You know the last time we had a push for nuclear power this successful? The 60s. Trump is bringing nuclear power back after 60 years of being slowed down, really slowed down for 50, because 3 Mile Island happened in the 70s. It's been pretty suppressed. But meanwhile, Trump's letting it all come back. Once all these start going online, folks, you know what Trump's energy plan is going to do to your electric bill in the next few years? My electric bill last month for a 2,000 square foot house, $500. If Trump gets his way, it'll be about $200 in about 3 to 5 years. That's what this is leading to. And this, sorry, Matt Walsh, this is focusing on affordability. We're getting there. This is a huge win. And this is what we need to promote going into the midterms, because it keeps happening. Now, looking ahead, I covered yesterday a report from the Washington Post and from the New York Times that said that Trump had said to donors he had already chosen J.D. Vance as his successor. We needed to vote for him. I don't know if it's true or not, but here's Trump saying that the reporting is false. And I want to be fair when I report these things. So here's Trump alluding to this, which tells me one or two things. Either he did say it, but he doesn't want it getting out there. Or, number 2, he's still deciding. He's still keeping this open-ended so that we all stay engaged and that Vance, Rubio, whoever have to keep proving themselves. But listen to his response.
President, there is a report that you told donors that they need to get J.D. Vance elected in 2028. Is that your official endorsement?
No. It's. I heard about it a little while ago. I think he's great, but we're way too early to even be thinking about that.
President, there is
way too early. That's all he said. Way too early. But to me, it just signifies again how strong our future is. See, we win the elections, we win the midterms. Going into 28, we have these great people to choose from. It's going to be massive. Vance, Rubio, maybe DeSantis if Trump decides to get back on. But this is how we keep winning going forward, folks. We keep winning, but it's also very interesting. It's very interesting how this is going to play out. This is going to be the biggest story after the midterms, is Vance or Rubio, or a third party, or not third party, but a dark shadow candidate we haven't seen yet, which that would be crazy. But again, Trump, if anybody thinks Trump isn't going to set us up for the future, who knows? The other thing that's interesting is that Trump has been talking about, he's been alluding to more and more about him being around longer. That's really interesting too. But with all that's going on, here's the big thing coming into the midterms. This has barely started yet. We're starting to see the psyops come out to try to take out what Trump's doing, to try to push the Democrats into the midterms. But here's the thing. The Trump administration, the Republicans, MAGA, has not even fought back yet. And here's what's coming. Here's what we have to work with. Listen to this.
Money, and a lot of people.
Not my allies. I control it.
Okay, you and your allies.
$800 million.
Are you going to spend
You know,
it?
it's funny. Nobody ever, of course, I'm going to do.
You're going to spend it in the midterms.
I could spend it on pretty much anything I want. I'm going to spend it I'm going to help Republicans. I mean, so when you say I don't care.
No, I didn't say that. I said some people say that.
Yeah, look, I mean, I could do a lot easier. I didn't have to be away in Nevada yesterday. I didn't have to be in Los Angeles yesterday making speeches. I didn't have to be supporting all the people. I have I have a busy schedule. I said to somebody, wait a minute, you don't understand. I won. I'm not campaigning. Now that's the other thing.
All right. Let's see if I can come back here. All right, guys. Well, sorry, my internet kicked for a second, and I'm trying to see if. Okay, here we are. Sorry. All right, guys. Sorry. There was a quick power surge. There was a quick power surge and lost internet for a second there. So back. I've got to finish real quick. Okay. That was very strange, but let me finish this segment here. But anyways, what I was trying to show you guys is Trump has 800 million ready to be deployed. And that's not counting Elon's $100 million pledge. So guys, where we're at in the midterms, with the polls tightening, with all these psyops going on, just remember, Trump administration, MAGA hasn't even started to fight back yet. And when you add all this up, we're heading into the go time. It's less than 3 months now until the midterms. With that said, all this money that's going to be deployed, all this advertising, getting the messaging out, I feel very good about the midterms heading forward. I think the Republicans are going to pull it off. I think Trump's going to shock the world. All right, guys. Let me get into the chat and catch up with you guys. Thank you guys for being patient with my issues here. First super chats. J-Bone says, people need to realize Trump can do all he's done, but corporations not on board or controlled by global banks refuse to lower prices, just like gas. 100% correct. You're 100% correct. They are trying to make Trump look bad. Thank you, J-Bone. Thank you for the second $10 super chat where he says, people need to realize, oh, did you send it twice? I see 2 super chats at $10. Well, thank you, J-Bone, for both of them, but you're right. Gas prices should be less than they are. $75 a barrel. We should have much lower gas prices. So thank you for your super chats, brother. Molly Cruz says, wow, I have 3,800 square foot home, 8-bed, 4-bath, full built-out basement. My electric bill was only $159 for July through the heat wave. Holy cow. I don't know what you're doing to keep your electric bill so low, but good for you. I'm happy for you. On that note, thank you, Motley, for that. Guys, I'm gonna have to go. I got a lot to do with my family here. It's our last day at the lake, so Listen, love you guys. I appreciate you all so much. Thanks to everybody who super chatted today. Thank you guys for being patient with the mic issues. Monday, we'll be back to normal. This weekend, I should have a couple videos coming up with Rich Does Politics. Very excited to go on his show. You guys are the absolute best. I love this community. I'm so blessed to be a part of it and to thank you guys. Thank you. This week broke 40,000 and it's just been amazing. So let me pray and get us out of here. So Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God, bless everybody here, Father. Thank you for them, their support. And I'm just so blessed that I get able to do this and just pray, God, we're making a difference. Father, we pray for President Trump and his team. Protect them, give them wisdom, Lord. Pray that, God, the message does get out on all that he's doing to help this nation. Pray that the midterms are a shock to the world about how much stronger MAGA is than they think. And God, that we just keep winning. Bless our country. We pray for prosperity, peace, and justice for our country like never before. And help us build a better country going forward for our kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. God bless you guys. Best community on the internet. Love you all. And I will see you regular time, Monday, 12 o'clock Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. We'll be back to it, and my sound will be fixed. God bless you. See you guys then.
Headlines screaming like a siren at night. Red and blue shouting, nobody's right. Smoke in the streets, truth under attack. Everybody's loud, nobody's got facts. Feeds keep scrolling, nerves stay tight. Matchsticks flicked in the dead of night. They sell fear, cheap package the lies, while the clock keeps ticking, empires on fire. Can't sit quiet while the world's on edge. Lines in the sand, standing on the ledge. No script, no leash, no polish, quiet. Just a voice in the dark and a spark to the wire. This is